to get the duck where I normally source my duck from, because they remove all of the skin for me. Ladies and gentlemen of the Caribbean and fans of CaribbeanPod.com, I'm speaking directly to you. That fat, that skin is not good for us. So I try to remove as much of it as I can. So please remove most of the skin if you can, or get your butcher to do it. We've got about 5 pounds of duck meat here, cut up small into small pieces. I've washed it with the juice of a lemon and cool water, and I've drained it. And the reason why I impress on you to wash this is because when they cut it on the bandsaw, there will be little fragments of bone, very gritty little stuff. You want to wash all that out. Plus, you gotta wash your meat. I'm old school Caribbean. We need to season this and allow it to marinate for a while. So I've got sea salt. Use any salt that you guys are accustomed using. I ain't trying to get told to go and buy anything extra. We need some fresh ground black pepper. And the longer you can marinate this, so if you can marinate it overnight in the fridge, that would be ideal. So you got that nice fresh ground black pepper in there. In Iman case here, just a couple hours I'm going to marinate it, because I'm in the process of filming. Anchar masala. And head over to your favorite Caribbean store to pick up some of that. That have the smoky, deep notes of Geera, along with other spices in there. This one here, can't remember the brand, but it's in my spice cupboard there. Some onion. Yeah. Tomato. Yes, tomato. That's going to bring the whole acidity game and balance of the flavors and stuff like that. We've talked about that several times. I have here 2 Scotch bonnet peppers, seeds and everything. I like it spicy. In my humble opinion, anything Geera, Geera pork, Geera chicken, Geera, gizzards, Geera feet, I don't know what else people do, Geera necks, has to be spicy. It is part of the whole process. Caribbean green seasoning, 3 tablespoons of that niceness there. And if you didn't join me on the live stream I did today making that, yeah, I make Caribbean green seasoning specifically. Let's see if we can zoom in. I'm working with an older lens, so it isn't ideal, but I made that specifically for this recipe today, but I'll have tons of use for that. Head over to CaribbeanPod.com and search Caribbean green seasoning, and you'll find that recipe there. Caribbean green seasoning, if you're new, and I'm going to be quick, if you're new to Caribbean cooking, it is the sort of base for a lot of our recipes, and it is pretty much a puree or a blend. And I do mention olive oil of all the herbs we like using, along with garlic and seasoning peppers and all that. Pure niceness, man. That there is the sort of marinade that's going in. All you got to do now is give that a good mix to bring all those flavors together, and let everything coat in that nice Caribbean green seasoning, that anchar masala. Yeah, your West Indian grocery store will have it, and I'm sure there are places online you can buy it as well if you live outside of the Caribbean. And it is smelling incredible already. Now you're wondering, where is the Geera or the cumin? That will come in later, but like I said, in that anchar masala, it has that ground roasted cumin in there as well too. Now the same thing I mentioned about the skin and fat and stuff in the duck. The meat can be lean, but the skin can be very fatty. The same thing applies for goat and oxtails. Too many times in Caribbean restaurants, I have a beef with you guys in regards to that, because yeah, old school we used to say fat and skin and all that means flavor, and you know, there may be some truth to it, but also means heart attack and high blood pressure and all kind of thing like that. So if we can trim it out, please do. Too many times we're gonna be buying oxtail and rice and the thing just swimming in oil, like, hey, like we going on, do we call SO anybody, man? We're outdoor again. It is summertime, so why not? I've got 2 tablespoons of olive oil in there, and we need cumin seeds. We need about a tablespoon of cumin seeds in there, or Geera. You're gonna hear me go back and forth between Geera and cumin. That is just the way it's called in the Southern Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, and I believe in Guyana as well. but medium heat, and we want to sort of wet toast that to bring out all those flavors, because after all, this is Geera duck. It's been about 3 minutes since I added the Geera seeds in there, so I'm going to go in with garlic at this point, and just a tiny bit of onion. Give that a good mixy mix. You can really hear the sizzle happening there now. That is where all that happiness and joy lives in the pot at this point. And the goal is to not burn anything. So we got a nice bit of color happening there with the garlic and the onion. So here is where all that seasoned duck is going to give it a good stir, because we want to sort of sear the outside of the duck. And here is where I'm going to add a tiny bit of curry powder to the mix. The combination of the curry with the anchar masala and all that cumin or Geera is just spectacular. Just going to hit that a nice little stir like that. Then we're going to put the lid on it, turn the heat down to low, and let that come up to a sort of a boil. Yeah, I said boil because it will spring up a lot of its own natural juices. It's been going for about 10 minutes now, and as you can see, there's quite a bit of liquid that naturally sprouted up there. So we're going to continue cooking that for another 10 minutes with the lid on. Now we're going to intensify the flavor and pull all that together. So what we're going to do is crank up the heat to high. We're going to go in with ground roasted cumin or Geera. We need a good tablespoon of that, and more spice, another Scotch bonnet pepper. This one is a tiny one, and we're going to leave the lid off, and we're going to give that a good... Now in the same bowl where you marinated the duck, you want to add about 3 cups of water to it, because we're going to need braising liquid to make this nice and tender. The duck can be a bit tough. It is a tough thing to cook, because either you cook it lightly or you cook it a long time. So we're doing the long time kind of thing. But first we got to burn off all that liquid on the bottom there to really intensify the flavor. You notice how oily that is? I mentioned to you guys, duck can be pretty fatty. So all that liquid is gone, is just the loveliness on the bottom there along with the oil. So here's where we're going to add some water in there. And we're going to bring that up to a boil and let that simmer until everything is nice and tender. It will only take about 2 or 3 minutes to come up to that vigorous boil. But we don't want that vigorous boil, so I'm going to turn my heat down to low. And I'm going to put the lid on, and we're going to leave a crack, so it's slightly ajar, just so it breathes, and everything is going to happen nicely in there. I'm just busy multitasking. Just look at that proper curry chicken I have here. Look at that nice thick gravy. Coming far tight up. Look at that. Oh, geez, and it's been going for an hour and 15 minutes since we added the water. I'm going to crank up my heat now to burn off. We need to get rid of this liquid here. Remember, we didn't break that pepper there, so that is just a nice little flavor, something there down to the end. But anyhow, we need to, but I'm losing light. So what I may have to end up doing is telling you guys, once the liquid is down, you will taste it for salt, adjust the salt, and to finish it off, I have some chopped cilantro in here, coriander. If you have shallow belly, you can certainly use that. Now here's the thing, you can leave gravy if you want to eat this with steamed rice and stuff like that. You can leave gravy, but just make sure the salt is still liking and that the duck is tender. So I'm going to give this another 10-15 minutes, and hopefully the light is still good out here that we can finish this up. Sup, soldiers? Listen, if you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. if you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, then bots will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irene. So I did decide I'm going to leave back some gravy. So I'm just giving it a final little stir. Remember again, I must impress on you. Oh boy, that pepper bust. That's going to be pressure, because we already got 2 in there, you know what I mean? So in goes that cilantro. Give that a good little mix. And we're done. Geera or cumin duck. I kind of get the impression that this might be the first time you will have seen this on the YouTube and the Instagram and the Facebook and everywhere else. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. We were outside. Yo, fry it down if you want. You know, dry it down. It's up to you. Up to you. To finish it off, you can use your favorite cheese. It just so happened I have a wine marinated firm goat's cheese. Feta would work great in here, but all I did was I shaved it, and you can see how thin it is. You use your potato peeler and you shave it. Because it's a firm goat's cheese, it's very easy to do that. I will hit that a toss and then get ready to enjoy a quick tasty summertime